What's a fun fact that nobody asked for? My grandfather never talked about the war, not once. When anyone asked, he'd just say, I fixed trucks in the desert, and change the subject. For 40 years, that's all we knew. When he died last year at 96, we were cleaning out his house when my mom found a locked metal box in his closet. Inside was a worn photo, him as a young soldier, maybe 22, grinning next to a massive bear standing upright on two legs. We thought it was Photoshop, some wartime joke. But there were more photos, dozens of them, letters in Polish, military documents with a bear's name on the roster. My mom started researching, and that's when we discovered what my grandfather had lived through. In April 1942, my grandfather's Polish unit had been evacuated from the Soviet Union and stationed in Iran. They'd marched through frozen wastelands, half-starved, watching friends die. When they reached Iran, they were barely alive. One morning, a local boy around 8 approached their camp carrying a terrified bear cub in a burlap sack. The mother had been shot by hunters. My grandfather and his friend Stefan pooled everything they had: a chocolate bar, half a loaf of bread, and a Swiss Army knife. They bought the cub and named him Wojtek, meaning happy warrior. The commander almost shot the bear, said they could barely feed the men, but my grandfather convinced him to give it 1 week. They fed Wojtek condensed milk from a vodka bottle, holding him like a baby. Then honey, fruit, and beer, which became his favorite. He'd refuse water and make complaining sounds until someone gave him a bottle. The bear learned to wrestle with soldiers, sleep in their tents for warmth, and salute by raising his paw. My grandfather wrote that Wojtek saved lives that winter just by keeping morale up. In 1943, the unit was redeployed to Italy. When they tried boarding British ships, the officer said absolutely no mascots allowed. The Polish commander walked into headquarters and came back 2 hours later with papers. Private Wojtek, serial number 22, full soldier with paybook and rank. The British officer was furious, but had no choice. Regulations said soldiers could board. They shipped to Monte Cassino, one of the bloodiest battles of Double Point. The Germans had fortified a monastery on a mountain. For 4 months, the Allies got slaughtered trying to take it. My grandfather's unit supplied ammunition. Their job was moving artillery shells from trucks to gun positions under constant German shelling. The shells came in 100-pound wooden crates. 4 men to carry each one up rocky terrain. All night, every night, under fire. My grandfather wrote, we were dying. Every trip, someone didn't come back. After 3 days, half the men were ready to desert. That's when Wojtek started helping. The bear had been watching them struggle. Then he walked to the truck, stood up, grabbed a crate, and started hauling it to the artillery positions. Through smoke, through explosions, for 20 straight hours. My grandfather's journal. The bear never stopped, never dropped a single crate. When shells landed near him, he'd flinch but keep walking. He carried more than any 5 men. Watching him shamed us into finding our courage. After the battle, they promoted him to corporal. Changed the company emblem to a bear carrying an artillery shell. That emblem is still used today. When the war ended, Polish soldiers couldn't return home because Soviets had taken over. Wojtek was given to Edinburgh Zoo in 1947. My grandfather settled in Edinburgh specifically to stay near him. We found visitor logs. Every Sunday for 16 years, my grandfather sat by Wojtek's enclosure for hours. Other Polish veterans would join and speak Polish. Zookeepers wrote that Wojtek would stand and salute whenever he heard Polish. He'd make sounds like he was trying to respond. Wojtek died December 2nd, 1963. My grandfather attended the memorial with 200 veterans who traveled across Scotland. That photo, written on back, my best friend, braver than any man I knew. Corporal Wojtek, 22nd Company, 1942-1947. We found one final letter in the box, written to Wojtek in Polish the week before my grandfather died. Translation: I'm coming to see you soon, old friend. Save me a beer. My grandfather fought alongside a beer-drinking bear who became a decorated soldier and carried ammunition through enemy fire for 20 hours. He never told us because when he tried once, someone laughed and called him a liar, so he just stopped talking about the war entirely.